residents in the community. We're grateful for the men and women who serve so well and so on the city council, as well as those that protect us in law enforcement, take care of us, EMTs, city fire department. Grateful for the freedoms God bless us that we may continue to preserve those freedoms and help serve the residents of our community. So in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mark. Mark's on our economic board, and we appreciate his volunteerism. Okay, would like to have Kirk Beecher come lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. While he's coming up, he's on our Planning Commission.
And also on the economic development.
Chairman.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I could have everyone stand and please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirk. Okay, moving on to the C consent agenda. Number one, approval of the December 17th, 2025 City Council minutes. Council, unless there's any discussion on the consent agenda, I'm ready for a motion.
Mayor, I motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion been seconded, starting roll call vote, starting with Council Provost Guard.
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Council Rowley.
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Council Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. Again, we've just had a reception for two new council members. Anyhow, we have had a reception for two new council members, but I would like to officially recognize them as part of the council and make them welcome. So welcome. Thank you. Okay, moving on to petitions, D, petitions. First item on that list is mine. It's the proclamation for cowboy poetry. I'm going to put my cowboy hat on. That's what I brought it for. And we've done this for about 10, 12 years. We have the Cowboy Poets of Utah. I'm on the chairman of the board of the Cowboy Poets of Utah. And for the last 10 or 12 years, we've had our symposium, which is our business meetings down at the Veterans Home. And then at the end of our business meetings this year, there will be a concert, and it will involve music and also poetry. Every other performer will either be a musician or a poet. And it'll be at 7:00 down at the Veterans Home here in town on 1550 North Main, I believe is the address. And what we would do is it's $5 per person to come in and enjoy the concert. It's free for any veterans that would like to come there, the ones that are living there, and also any other veterans. It'd be free, and we'll share that gate, whatever it is, half with the Veterans Activity Fund at the Veterans Home. So this is the proclamation and the reason for that. Do we need to read anything, Dave, Robert? Okay, so we'll just do a proclamation for Cowboy Poetry
Well,
Week.
now hold on. Last year we did this. You said you were going to read a poem.
Oh, I forgot. I don't have one. I'm sorry.
Missed opportunity.
Brian must have
I
brought
asked
one.
last. Yeah, I don't have one.
No, I should have brought one, but I didn't.
Next year, please.
Good. Thanks for
Please.
embarrassing me. Okay. Okay, moving on. Yard of the month. Council Moss.
Okay, Mayor and Council, I am so excited to present to you this year's Christmas Yard of the Month. I have seen this house decorated for years, and I swear they add more every year, and I didn't think they could, but it is beautiful if you saw the pictures. So I am so excited to present this certificate of appreciation to Brooke and Farrell Bancroft for a beautiful Christmas Yard of the Month. If you want to come up. And they get a $100 gift card to Olson's.
Would you let us know a little bit about you? Would you feel comfortable doing that, please? Then we want a picture after.
So I'm Brooke. This is my wife, Farrell. We've lived in Payson for 28 years. We actually closed on our house on Christmas Eve of '97. So that was our Christmas gift. And we lived down by the temple, and we were in a subdivision that at the time nobody really knew which ward or stake we were in. We're just kind of out there. And it's really grown a lot since then. I work at BYU in the air conditioning shop. My wife works at
Summit Counseling Solutions.
as a counseling for youth. And we just enjoy Payson, and we built our house, and we plan on staying there until we can't stay there anymore. So anyway, that's just about it. So.
Okay, thank you. Come on up front here. We want to get a picture with you.
Ready? Thank you.
Okay, moving on. It'll be the Economic Development Board report. Brian?
So we were going through the ordinance the other day for the Economic Development Board, and we found out we're supposed to be doing a yearly report and then a quarterly report. So we're going to do our yearly report today. So I'm excited to do that. There you go. So this is our vision statement. Just forward. Which one's forward?
Right
That
there.
one. Okay. So this is our vision statement for Economic Development Board, and basically it says that we're looking for employment opportunities that increasing the tax base and the quality of life, and our primary focus is to recruit industrial and retail businesses and to help existing businesses to grow and thrive. And then our secondary focus is promote tourism, educational opportunities, residential development, and downtown development. This is our board members. Just read through that real quick, but we tried to have a mix of businesses, downtown people, city people, and things like that, residents, and on our board, and it's been very successful. We're going to have some new applications coming in next month because it's a 3-year term, so we'll have a few of those going off. So. And then we do have 6 committees that under the Economic Development Board. It's really hard to get anything done if you just come to a meeting once a month and talk about something for an hour. So we have these working committees that are done really good. So I'm going to have a few of those. Just take a couple of minutes and tell what they've done this last year and then what their plans are for this next year. So we'll start with the golf committee with Chris Phillips, and then we'll do business retention by Robert, and then we'll do UVU MTech, which is kind of our educational part with Mark, and then we'll have downtown with Ty. So if you guys want to come up and do that, thanks.
First off, I think I've got the most fun committee ever, even though I don't golf. Tracy has threatened to train me or teach me a couple times, but anyways, it's a fun committee. And actually, I'm going to name the people who are on our committee because they are fabulous. We have Brian, Larry Skinner, Dave Tuckett, Robert Mills, Amanda Baker, Mayor Wright, Kevin Johnson, and Tracy Zovbell, which he promised he would pay me if I said that he was just amazing. So there you go. So our objective is, you know, even like Brian had mentioned, is to bring businesses into town that will benefit not only the residents, but also our tax base. And we started this tournament 10 years ago. And at first it was just filling up spots. And now we're to the point where we actually have people who contact us going, I want to be on the tournament, want to be on the tournament, whether it's a sponsor or just a golf. And it's like, ugh, you kind of have to meet our criterias. And our criteria is what do you bring to Payson? What are you able to bring to Payson? Whether it's a business that will benefit the whole community. So anyways, it's been getting kind of tricky. But what we do have at the tournament, just to kind of give you a background on it, is we have 2 helicopters that come and give a quick run over Payson to show everybody how fabulous we are. We have Waffle Love, we have massages, we have a coupon that they get to go spend in the Travis Matthews store. The attendees that we've had, last year we had the governor. We have U.S. Senator and Representative offices that do come because we want them to be aware of us and to help us any opportunity they can. We have, yeah,
I mentioned that the governor spent 4.5 hours with us. And I was privileged to golf with him, so 4.5 hours.
and he loved it.
Yes, he did.
He loved it. Of course, we have the most beautiful golf course ever, so why not just come and spend the time? Last year we had not only county commissioners, we also had some state legislatures that had come and spent the day with us too. Businesses who are looking to come to Payson, we want them to know what we represent. And one thing that we do also is to try to tie in our motto, the home to adventure. So some of the holes will have like adventure in healthcare, adventure in education. And so we're trying to keep everything all tied together that way. We have sponsors that we actually may have to kind of limit our sponsors because we're getting so full. We max out the last couple of years we've maxed out, so it's been fun. Our goal, though, is to be a little bit more specific on who we invite into the tournament so that they can come and see what we have to offer. And anyway, just be a little bit more specific. Anyways, any questions? Sweet. Thanks.
Mayor and Council, I have the privilege of chairing the Business Retention Committee. We this year got a few new members on this, and it's kind of been a working progress, but Chris Phillips is also on this committee. Sean Pickup, who is a local business owner in our community and wanted to be involved. Jim Rowland from the Chamber, Councilmember Hewlett, Marty Dargle, who is our business license administrator, made perfect sense, and Paul Johnson, who is also a local business owner. This year we've been able to kind of hone in what our purpose for this committee should be, and really we want to support the businesses that are existing in Payson, and we want to see what helps them thrive, the struggles that they have, and we've done that through a couple different things. Marty and I schedule time every month to go out and visit businesses in our community. We've had a good opportunity to have some good conversations and learn about them and understand what keeps them going, what struggles that they have, and to be able to bring that information back to our committee and talk about it. One thing that we wanted to do in the committee was provide opportunities for businesses to interact more. We believe that there's some really beneficial opportunities that Payson businesses have in knowing who's out there and those types of things. So we were able to organize this really cool event at the Wayfair Theaters, the Stadium Cinemas. Chris helped us do that, where they basically opened the theater to show a movie. But for the first hour of that, it was a really great opportunity to interact with different businesses. We sent out invitations to about 300 businesses. We had 90 seats that we could have had. We had about 40 people come to that. It was one of the best hour-and-a-half sessions that I have had here at Payson. It was a really great opportunity to, we did some Menti questions, which Mentimeter is an opportunity to interact in live time on your phone. And so we had a bunch of questions up there. We let people respond, and then we just went through them. I was so impressed with the way that people would be engaged in that, the answers that they provided, and then that gives us really good data for the next time. We want to be able to do those types of interactions about quarterly. So we're hoping to have one maybe end of February, beginning of March. The feedback from the business community was super positive. They loved the opportunity to have that interaction and to meet one another. Chris Phillips really brought up the idea that partnerships in business is really important. She used an example of when she was at the theaters, the partnership that the theater had with like Chubby's Restaurant, and to team together to create opportunities for both businesses to thrive. And hopefully we can create more of those opportunities through these events that we have. It's a really great committee. We meet monthly. And then we also have been inviting a specific business to come in. Our meeting is on a Tuesday morning, and the next day is the economic board meeting. And we invite a specific business to come in and present to the economic development board the next day. So it's been really great. Looking forward to another fantastic year. Thank you. Any questions? Okay.
Robert?
Good evening, City Council members and visitors in the gallery. My name is Mark Kershaw. I've been asked to chair the Education Committee. A little background on myself. I've lived here about 21 years with my family. Delighted to live in Payson. Love it here. I have many friends. Have enjoyed it. And I'm also working as an administrator at Revere Health and then help on this Education Committee. This Education Committee has been fun for me because it's brought together some people who are really passionate about bringing together students and businesses in Payson and helping the businesses grow. We usually meet about once a month, and members of our committee, I should probably explain, include Kevin Johnson, who's the CEO of Mountain View Hospital. I've got members of each of the major educational organizations. So McKay Isham of UVU, he's part of outreach there for students needing internships, as well as Jen Gibson at MTech. And as you know, they just placed their 80,000 square foot facility here, so that's significant. And then we also have Julian Ford, who's the principal of the ALC, and then a number of others that work on that committee with us. The first question I asked myself is, why do we need this committee? Because these organizations already have outreach programs. But as we work together on this committee, I've noticed that they have their outreach programs, but they're not geared specifically to the Payson city businesses and don't necessarily have always the most effective way of reaching out to them. And so this is just another opportunity for us to bring Payson city businesses to them and help them find opportunities for their students and help these businesses find students that are willing to help them. So for example, during our monthly meetings, we've met with some businesses in Payson. We met with Dory Paris at Paris RV and took a look at what she's doing and what she's needing. She needs more technicians to help her business to help work on RVs and things like that. There's not a formal training program, but we're trying to figure something out where maybe those that have similar skill sets like at the ALC and what they teach there could maybe be a pipeline for them until we get some kind of formal training process in place. We've gone through and toured Lynn's facility, PPC Flexible Packaging. Very impressed there with what he's doing. And so we're trying to bring together these businesses, understand them and what their needs are first, and then present them to this education committee group to see what we can do to help them. Now, we have participated in some outreach events. Our biggest challenge is just who are we and what do we do and how can we help you as a Payson City business? So we were involved in a booth and adventure days and had all of those committee members representing their education organizations there in attendance. We've also attended the golf tournament, and it was fabulous, Chris. Thank you. We spent some time with Governor Cox. He was interested in what we're doing. And then we also presented to the Payson City, Santa Quin Chamber of Commerce and got some good feedback there. Now, some of the things we've done to kind of help bring more education and help people understand who we are. We've been able to generate and this is all, we have no budget. So we've been able to do this through our educational partners and their students who have helped develop a pamphlet that tells about us. And the slogan on this pamphlet ties right in with the Payson City slogan, Adventure in Education. We want to provide students an opportunity to understand the businesses that are out there. Will it work for me? Is that what I want to go into? And find opportunities for internships and actually help businesses thrive. And so we've created this pamphlet that explains who we are. It's got our partner organizations on the back, and it's got a little QR code so they can actually just take a picture of that QR code. It'll take them right to an online document that will allow them to kind of fill out their information. And then it'll go to each of our partner educational institutions, and they'll connect with that Payson City business to find out how we can help them. And before I ask if there's any questions, I've also got some swag for the city council members, and I want you to see the pamphlets. So we were able to also produce these little wristbands, Payson Home to Adventure and Education, and would love to share that with you. And we'd love to get your help to get the word out about what we're doing. So. Give you an idea.
Thank you.
Fox was interested in that pamphlet, took one of those.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark.
Any questions, Mark?
Any questions?
Thanks, Mark.
Okay. Ty.
Thank you, Mark. This is Brian's computer, right? Not Mark's. Okay. Well, I chair the downtown committee for economic development. To kind of explain, so I have a nonprofit called Historic Downtown Payson. We've aligned efforts with some citizens and also with representatives from the city, and together we formed the Main Street Initiative, which I also chair, and I represent downtown on the Economic Development Committee. And 2025 was a great year for downtown. Some highlights to begin with. We are members of the federal Main Street program and the Utah State Main Street program. And in the Utah State Main Street program, we have achieved Tier 2, which is really great and prestigious. Got to meet certain criteria. As far as our economic development, we meet once a month, but also for downtown we meet monthly, and so the whole point is to try to synergize our efforts together and support the city and support voices that may not be heard or that are out there that need to be. But with this state program, just to back up a little bit, Payson has hosted 2 conferences for the state in 2025, one in which Mayor Dave and myself gave a tour to the Tier 1 new directors of Main Street, just kind of go over the construction and the efforts and some ideas for funding and different things they can do in their communities. So Payson has been put on the map. In June, well, I'll back up before that. I went to a conference held in Ogden for the state downtown programs. Uh, and Payson's making its way because in June I actually won an award for Volunteer of the Year from the State Historic Preservation Office. And I should have invited more people to that event because Payson was plastered all over, and there were photos all over, and it very humbled to receive that. But then that led to a interview with Fox 13, where Max Roth came downtown Payson and interviewed Brian Hewlett and myself, and the director of the state program, Chelsea, and it was a great highlight. Talked about the preservation efforts, the construction efforts that Payson did, and some of our goals. And I actually got a tagline that got on the intro, which I'm pretty proud of, right? So anyway, that tagline was, "You're gonna remember how you feel," and that's how I feel about downtown, especially with the efforts that went in from city staff to make downtown Christmas lights. We conducted decoration contests with the businesses. We supported the chamber with their efforts for the Christmas festival and the Christmas tree lighting. And of course, our nonprofit helped raise some funds to get the speaker system, which was playing the Christmas music, which we hope to incorporate into our other efforts. Some highlights over the summer: we started First Fridays, and that was led by our chair of promotions, Kelly Carter. I don't know if you know her, but she did a fantastic job. We had a great thing in June, July, and August down there. And so definitely making an impact and imprint. Just to kind of highlight what are four pillars of our mission downtown, uh, centered around the state and federal program, but it's economic vitality, promotion, design, and organization. Uh, because of our Tier 2 status and the efforts of our committee, we're able to get a grant, which we plan to hire part-time staff to kind of help in these efforts for downtown, but trying to be cohesive and support obviously all these other committees. Huge shout out to the members, Mayor Wright, Brian Hewlett, Diane Jensen, Dave Tuckett, Robert Mills, Jill Spencer, to name a few. And we're going to be growing. There's a lot of interest, a lot of momentum, and we're very proud of the efforts that we've had. And just wondering, is there any questions or concerns that I can answer right now? If not, that's my report. And if you need to, talk to me after.
Thank you.
So Kurt Beecher's also, he's the chair of the strategic planning committee and messaging, but we haven't really got that going with him yet. So I'm going to cover a little bit of that later. And also on business recruitment, we'll have the mayor do a little bit on that a little bit later. But we're so blessed to have all these volunteers to help all these committees to help Payson be a better place and be able to grow the right way and get businesses here that help the community. Whoops. So just a couple of things that are just recently that have come up. They're pretty big deals for Payson. We're working on getting to be part of the inland port, and we had a meeting here. So for some of you, you had them come in, but for the new ones, the inland port is just where you can have business or basically properties that are in the inland port, and they have a tax base on them. And so it's set right now, and as the tax value goes up, as you build in these properties, then we get money back. Actually goes to the port, but then it comes back to us. So 75% of that tax increment comes back to the city. And the ones that are already being taxed, like the school districts, that they still get 25%. But as that grows, that 25% grows. So, but this gives us an opportunity to give incentives for a business to come in or help with infrastructure for loans and things like that. So there's lots of opportunities here. And on January 8th, which is tomorrow, we're having an open house in the council chambers here at 6 p.m. and Inland Port's going to come give a presentation, and we invited all these landowners to come to this meeting. And on the January 13th, at the Capitol buildings where they have their Inland Port meeting, that's when Payson will become a member of the Pony Express area. The other thing that's exciting for me is our Innovation Center. I don't know how many of you had a chance to go out there, but we're planning on having a ribbon cutting and open house on February 12th. And the open house will be from 4 to 8 with the ribbon cutting at 7 p.m. And this is just a partial list of the equipment that's in there for businesses or residents to come in and use in Payson. And one of the reasons we wanted this innovation center is because trying to recruit business to come to Payson, it's hard. It's a lot of work. But you look at the businesses here like PPC Packaging and Rocky Mountain DTV, they started in somebody's basement and they grew. And so that's what we want to try to do, is help business grow. There's some office space to rent here. We have a podcast room, and Robert checked that out today, and it works really good. So
we won't use that for promotional purposes. We want people to come, not discourage them. So.
Your podcast gonna drop, Robert.
Well, you have to be my first guest.
So we're gonna get the mayor down there and do a podcast for the city. So we're really excited about this. We just hired somebody, David Rowley. I think that some of you know him. He was the CEO of Utah Valley Chamber. He's going to be fantastic helping with this. And also Kelly Stone, he works for MTech, and he's going to be part of this. So the MTech's putting a person into this, and the city is also. This is just some of the projects that have happened this year in commercial industrial projects. The MTech building was finished, Maverick, and you can kind of read through these. I know we're taking quite a bit of time. Then you have a whole bunch of under construction, and then you have other projects that are being in the approval process. And maybe a couple of those I can point out is Red Bridge is finally getting a office space built. It's going up now, and MTech is. They aren't building the cosmetology building, so it's another building, but they're going to lease that. Got a few warehouses coming in. In fact, today we met with a group that's out of Texas that's going to move into one of the WICP warehouses. So 2025, these are some of the retail and businesses outreach that we had. And Mayor, do you want to
You
take
bet.
that?
Be glad to. We were very, very active in recruiting people and companies to come to Payson. You can see this list. Been working, trying to get Smith's, pull the trigger on the Smith's Marketplace. We've had contact with Lowe's, Great Wolf Lodge, Home Depot, Black Bear, as you can see, Buc-ee's. We tried Buc-ee's, just went to Springville, but didn't mean we didn't try. We've talked to Jim Laney about possibly putting a restaurant here down on Main Street. And we're currently talking, Brian's working really hard with Sam's Club. Winco is even starting to look, many of these, I haven't talked to them directly. I've talked to Culver's directly, Panda Express, they've tried it a couple times and they're continuing to try. Recently, Freddy's is very interested in Payson. We're hoping that will come to fruition. Maverick, we've been trying since, maybe even before I was mayor, but I know since I've been mayor, we've been trying to get them. Finally found a place for them to come, and they're very happy. Pink Box, you may not be familiar with them, but they're out of California. They're looking to spread into Utah. I was able to, I'm going to get introduced to the CEO of Pink Box. They're going to have a open house on the 17th of January over in American Fork. That's their first place of business in Utah. I got acquainted with this Pink Box with the Utah County Chamber of Commerce, went over to their holiday breakfast. He was there, wasn't able to get introduced to him, but I will on the 17th and let him know about Payson. And for many of you may know, we're working with the Gary Patel and a hotel that would be a Fairfield Inn by Marriott. And along with that, there would be some pads that would need to be filled as far as retail locations. One thing I need to do, and I'm sorry, I've got to leave. I've got to go to my granddaughter's dance review over at the Covey stage in Provo. But I've asked Brian Hewlett to be able to be the mayor pro tem. If there's any objection to that, council, is that okay with you? So I'm sorry to have to leave, but you're in good hands.
I think they probably have to make a motion.
We do. Oh, do we need to make a motion? Okay, is there a motion to approve Brian Hewlett as mayor pro tem?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Do we need an individual vote or can we just do it collectively? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Sorry to leave.
See ya.
Thank you, Mayor.
You bet.
And we also have talked to a couple of steak restaurants too, and we just keep working at that. So, some of the ways that we measure success in economic development is construction value from the buildings are going up, and you can see what we've done the last 3 years in Payson for the construction. And then another way is with Payson sales tax, and this really helps as we get more sales tax, and it really helps with our budget and not have to increase fees and everything like that. But you can see that we've back from since 2019, it's gone 10%, and it dropped down in 2020, 23, 24 to 2.7, but the state dropped clear down to 1.8. You can see on the right-hand side for 22, 23, 24, what the state did versus what we did. So we've done a lot better than what the state's been doing. So we've been doing better than the average. And as we get a couple of big boxes that we hope to announce soon, that will help a lot too with sales tax. This is another way to look at it is our business licenses. So in 2025, we had new businesses get licenses, 98 new businesses, 50 of those are commercial, 48 home businesses. And we had 53 close. And then we have 625 active businesses. And I just looked that up since I made this slide. 364 are commercial and 298 are home occupation. These are just some of the agencies that we work with all the time, just to make sure that we're working with the agencies in the state or federal to have make things happen here in Payson. GOEO, EDC Utah, both those send out requests for site visits for different businesses, and we so you just read through those, and then just a couple of the RFIs, so requests for information. They send us those, and we fill these out for trying to recruit businesses. But One of them is Project Apollo that we sent information on. It's a satellite production facility. They hire 100+ engineers and technicians with over 100,000 in salary. They need 60,000 square feet and 25 million and have capital investment. And then Project Bravo, which is a light source subsystem for semiconductors. That's a $200 million capital investment with 400 hires with a building size of 150,000 to 250,000. So we respond to these quite often as they come in. This is just some of the areas that we focus on. We started building a strategic plan about 4 years ago, and we really haven't finished it. But so we need to have a work session with the council and get this strategic plan for the city for economic development. There is a little piece in our overall business plan, our was it Jill? Oh, Jill left. So our overall, what is it? Our overall plan, general plan for the city. So these are just some of the focus areas: increase economic vitality. And then we have a tagline that goes with that: manufacturing, entrepreneurship, and innovation. And then these are just some of the things that we had in here in the last 4 years, and we're actually doing these. So closing on a big box, business resource center, we opened that. The inland port we're going to have done. Outdoor recreation, hospitality, and tourism. We have a grant for a master plan for outdoor recreation, which it just went out this week. And then we're going to have a grant to look feasibility study for the indoor rodeo arena, and we're getting a hotel. And for the downtown, new streetscape, updated infrastructure. And education, workforce, and employment. The MTech building's been built now. UVU purchased land, and the committee is formed to develop internship programs. So these are things that we had in the plan and that have happened. And then our transportation infrastructure obtained some funding for the new interchange. This is kind of what one of the plans looked for manufacturing entrepreneurship. We had what we wanted to do, when it was going to be done, who was going to do it, and kind of a budget. Then on our website, this is still a work in progress, but we want to have every project that's being done in Payson where you can go look it up, see what's happening, have a site plan, elevations, renderings, and where they are in the process. So you can see up at the top is annexations, zoning, approved and under construction, and proposed development and transportation projects. So that'll help us as a council when we want to go see what's going on with the project. We can see where it is, and also if somebody's trying to come to Payson, they can see all the things that are going on in Payson. And just some of the strategic projects we want to work on this year is keep working on the new interchange, keep working on Front Runner, the outdoor recreation plan, indoor rodeo arena, motocross track, which Jill's working on a lot on that. We've been working with the Forest Service on a parking lot near the Scout Camp for winter recreation. We're still working on getting big box stores here, sit-down restaurants, steakhouses. We really need to update our website for economic development and update the ordinance for downtown to make sure we get the right mix of businesses downtown and additional amenities for Fort Bay. So that's my report. One thing I want to is invite any council people that want to be on a committee or come be involved. We'd love to have you. We have great committees, and anybody that's listening to this, we'd also like to invite you. And also in a month, we'll have a few opportunities to be on the Economic Development Board. So, any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Good report.
Oh, Ty, before you sneak out, and I want to thank Brian for all his work on the economic development for our city. Anytime I call him, he's always working really hard on attracting businesses, retaining businesses, and I thank you Ryan, for all your work on that. And Ty, before you sneak out, and your sweet daughter Avery too, I want to thank you for all the work you do for Main Street. You're kind of a sounding board both for the other business owners and for us on the city council. You took a lot of heat during the construction, and from both sides, and you managed it really well. So I really thank you for all the volunteering you do on these boards and for downtown Main Street. I really thank you so much, Ty. We'll try to make an ordinance for that as a code. Yeah. And then also, Chris, thank you for serving as well. You're a very valuable business owner in Payson. Big changes came this year to your family and your business, but thank you. When I was growing up, you gave teenagers a place to hang out that was safe. You even came before Walmart, and you took a big gamble coming to town, to such a small town, and opening such a nice theater with such a great auditoriums, great sound systems. I grew up in West Mountain, and so me and my friends, we would walk along the railroad tracks, walk over Red Bridge, cross Wendy's, cross I-15 to come watch movies all the time. And you gave us a safe place to do that. Thank you for being such a valuable business here in Payson. How the Grinch Stole Christmas was the first movie I saw there 25 years ago. On your front wall, you had, now it's the kiosk, but you had some arcade games and some payphones. And this is back before cell phones. And so when the movie would get over, I'd hurry and run over to the payphone, but I didn't want to pay for the call. So you could type in the person's number, and then it would say on the other end of the line, do you accept a call from? And I'd hurry and say, Mom, the movie's over. Come pick me up. And I could hang up, and she would get that message and come get me. But Chris, really, thank you. I can't overstate the gamble you took on Payson, and I thank you for that for all these years. Thank you.
So I got a question for you. Since the mayor had his first kiss in the Hewish, did you have your first kiss in Stadium Cinemas?
I didn't. No.
Okay. Moving on. So it's time for a public forum, and anyone can come up and speak. You need to come up to the microphone, and if you can limit your time to 3 minutes or less. Do we have anybody online? Okay. Next is staff reports and council reports.
Timing me already before I even stood up. Just quickly in recreation and at the Petite Neat mainly, we started the restroom remodel there. So I just want to let you know that's going. We have a porta john outside and then the restroom connection
For $900,000.
Right. We opted out of that one. We're just
Good.
just doing the remodel, and so far we'll be under budget. And but we're not redoing the whole thing, right? But all the stalls are torn out, all the toilets are gone, the plumbing's gone, so all that's getting redone. So and then just we started this week our winter sports programs and other gymnastics, tumbling, parkour, those type of things. So they're on their way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Andrew Spake. I'm with the planning department. I just wanted to take a couple minutes just to talk about our upcoming update to our general plan. So general plan is really important document, right? It sets kind of the vision for the city, what we want to be, where we want to go in the future. It includes land use, transportation, infrastructure, housing, parks and recreation, and then as Councilman Hewlett brought up, it includes economic development as well. And then it has goals and policies that then impact codes and development standards. So it's really important that that document reflect the goals and the needs and I guess desires of Payson's residents and then of the council as well. So we're really looking forward to working closely with you in the next coming months as we move forward with that process, and really hope to end up with a plan that has your full support and that we're excited about implementing. So the current plan was updated in 2020, and it's recommended that be updated about every 5 years. And so now is kind of the time to move forward with that. and there's a few things that we're looking forward to updating and improving with the plan. So the city's received a grant to get a consultant to help with that process, and so we're excited about getting that on board in the next coming months here. So just wanted to let you know about that and look forward to working more closely with you coming up. Another thing with that, so as we're considering land use and transportation, one of many things that need to be kind of considered in those discussions is like natural hazards and disaster mitigation. And so the Mountain Land Association of Governments, they're actually in the process right now of creating a hazard mitigation plan. They do regional planning, and so this is a regional plan that includes Payson. And I'm going to try to share something here. Okay, so this is their website. So again, this is Mountain Land Association of Governments. So for the public and for you all as well, the way to get to here is it's just magutah.gov. And then under this planning, let's see, I have to drag this. Planning and then pre-disaster mitigation plan. You can go here, and then there's this hazard map that has a bunch of information, data that they've gathered on different hazards throughout Utah County. And then I'll zoom in here to Payson. So you can see on the side here where they've listed all these different hazard potential. So you can go through these and look at all that different information that they've gathered. What they're asking for right now is for some input from city staff and then also elected officials on the critical facilities and these hazards that we have here. So as staff, we've gone through this and added several comments that we have on kind of existing conditions in the city. But I will plan on emailing each of you with a link to a version of this map that allows you to add comments. And so there's, I guess, two invitations for you. One, when you get that email and you follow that link to this map, if you could look at those different hazards and the different comments that city staff have added and just consider if there's any other comments that you have, feel free to add anything. And then they'll take that and consider that as they continue to move forward with this plan. And then the second invitation would be, just as you're looking at these different hazards, think about the upcoming conversations that we'll have with the general plan, with land use decisions and transportation, and those conversations and how those should maybe be impacted by some of these hazards potential that are present. So that's what I have for you. Again, look out for my email tomorrow with those two things, but thank you.
Thanks, Anders.
Yeah.
Okay, let's turn to council.
Chief Spencer, weren't you going to report something?
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, I was having a little conversation, trying to let Anders know that's a little too long. Mayor and council, it's good to be here. Just wanted to touch base to let you know, Station 92, the progress is coming along. It's taken a while to get things together once we got approval. We have a contractor on board, architect. We've had a couple of meetings. We met again this morning. We had a conceptual plan that we presented last year. And the last couple of weeks, we've worked on redoing that, starting with that floor plan and conceptual plan to get it more finalized. Almost the same footprint and everything, not a lot of changes, but we're working to finalize that. So once we get that floor plan laid out correctly, then they can get into the more details. And we started into a few more details this morning after getting some the areas changed, of the different things and needs that we'll have in each of these different areas and rooms and stuff. You know, for example, extractors and washers and dryers and different things that we'll need, and areas for training and stuff. So that's coming along. We have Cirque, who is our overseer of our contractor and subcontractors and stuff, and we have Chad Littlewood. He's our architect that's doing that. He's done several fire stations, and during our bid opening, I had several comments from other builders that they'd never seen such a nice layout of a fire station. So I think we've got a great layout. So that's coming along, and we'll just keep you up to date on that. The other concern was we'd heard that UDOT wasn't real thrilled about the station with the ramps and the trucks coming out onto the highway there, but we've had some conversations and encouraging some meetings to get with them to work those things out. We were scheduled to meet with them next week, but Jonathan had a meeting and Travis yesterday, and that came up, and it was good news to hear that, and just in a verbal conversation, that they didn't think it would be a problem, and they would give us our variance to have that station there, so it shouldn't be a problem. We still have to go through the paperwork and do all that, but things look good that way. So good progression there. Just to let you know, we did have a house fire. We had quick knockdown and had a good attack on that. Two homeowners in there were displaced for a little while. We had a good response with our fire department, but with our police department, as always, we have a good relationship. I had a lot of good officers there, also from Santaquin and Sheriff's Office. We have a mutual aid agreement, so anytime we have structure fires in Payson, depending on what side of the city, we either have Salem or Santaquin, and as well, we back them up. And it seems like we go to the other cities lately more than they go to us, which is a good thing. We'd rather have fires in their cities than ours. But anyway, the last thing is just to let you know, we had one of our firefighter EMTs. She'd been with us for about a couple of years, and she'd been fighting a battle with cancer and lost that there just a day before Christmas. So we're working with them to, we'll have a vigil in Santaquin Thursday, but a parade session will go from Payson Market, where she worked full time, to Genola, where she lived. And so funeral services will be on Friday. So Payson and Santaquin and Genola, we're all helping to put that together for them to honor her and her family. So, but thanks for all you do. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Anybody else from staff? Okay, we'll start with the council then. Councilman Probstgard.
He completed the process. I'm sure they see the second time. We learned a lot on the campaign. Able to share that. Sorry.
Wasn't here the last time. To share those insights, and look forward to hearing from all of the department heads and getting back up to speed. Thank you.
Councilwoman Moss.
First, I just want to say it was an honor to work with Teresa and Brett, and we'll miss them. And I want to welcome Lacey and Bob. It'll be a great year ahead of us, and thanks to the staff as usual. And that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Rowley.
I will just second what Council Moss said, and nothing else to report tonight.
I'm going to third that, and that's all I have to report. So, Councilwoman Lacey's.
I'll just second what Bob said. I'm excited to be here and excited to get to know people that I don't know. So,
Great. Thank you, everybody. So next thing is just a work session with the survey results with Robert and Ron. And Ron's the one that did the survey for us. He lives up in Elk Ridge, so it's nice to have somebody local, but he does stuff all over the country doing surveys. And this will be really helpful information when we have our retreat, is that this is what the citizens are talking about. So I'll turn the time over to you guys.
I'll just defer to Ron and let him go.
I'm going to share my screen here in a second and just make sure I can do that. And we'll share this, share. All righty, you able to see that okay? Okay. So I'd like to introduce myself really briefly. My name is Ron Gailey, and I have a research company called On Point Insights. I worked for Zions Bank for many years, and then I worked for Chase Bank. I was a research director for years, and Coca-Cola for about 8 years, and then I started my own company. And along the way, I fell in love with doing research for cities and towns. And so that's all my company does. We do research for cities and towns all across the country. And in 2022, we did one for Payson. Now we did an update to that nearly identical survey in 2025. And what you're looking at is the dashboard here so that you can see the results. Instead of getting like a big PDF or a paper report, it's all on a dashboard. And this dashboard shows the current results, and it also shows the historical ones. So anything you'd like to see, current and historical, is here available for you. Yeah. Yeah. Lubricate things up here. All righty. So look, I want to show you a couple of things here. The area of the participants. So we showed people a map, and then we said, where do you live? What area do you live in? And I don't know, you can see this little arrow here. And whenever you see this arrow, you can click on that, and then we have the historical information. So here above it is 2025, and beneath it is the historical. And sometimes it's just kind of nice to see them both at once.
So our sample went up a little bit then. We got
right. We
yeah,
had 1705. We had 1633 before, and like the distribution is nearly identical to the past. So we got a very similar distribution. So you can trust the results of being quite consistent with the past. And I'm going to do the same thing for demographics and go to the historical demographics. And the same thing too for age, like they're nearly identical to what we had in the past. A lot of younger people, a lot of middle-aged people, a lot who are a little bit older. And so we have a nice mix. We got plenty of males and females in here, a few more ladies, and that's almost always the case. We asked, how long have you lived in the city? And we have a lot of old timers, but we have quite a few who are pretty new. And one of the things that in the data you can do is you can say, oh, I want to filter this and I want to see the old timers, or I want to filter this and I want to see the females who have children in the household, for example. And you can just satisfy your curiosity about how people might be the same or different. And you can look at different areas of the city too and wonder if the West Mountain's a little bit different than another place, right? And you can look at that information. And we have, since we have a large sample size, why you can even look at the areas and feel really confident that it's pretty reliable. That's the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing I wanted to say is the results are nearly identical to 2022. And so instead of going through everything, and I'm sure Robert will get you the link to this survey as soon as we're finished with this, or maybe did he already give it to you? I don't know, but we'll get that to you right away. And then you can go through this all you want. And there's a few things I want to point out here. And that is, I'm going to go to this page here, happiness indicators. Have things improved, stayed the same, or gotten worse? Do you know most people feel things have improved in Payson? And why would you think, but that's pretty good. But the truth is that's about how it was 3 years ago. So you're trending about the same on things that have improved. Are we going the right direction or the wrong direction? It's nearly identical to before. Most people feel you're going the right direction. And then how do we compare to other cities? Well, a little bit of a mixed bag. Some feel you're better, somewhat or much better, but there are those who feel, I don't know that we're as good as others, right? So that happens, and that's the mix. And then I mentioned to you that you can turn on a filter. So you can say, well, let's look at people who've been in the city. And I'm just going to turn off everybody. And we're going to say the people who've been here 20 years or longer. So just like that, and you can look at the results. And so the people who've been here longer are a little more negative, and that's normal, right? But you know, I mean, and the city they once were in is no longer the city that they were in. And so things have changed considerably. But you can do that, and you can see, okay, how does this look? Also, another thing that we've done is you can see that we have like the direction of the city by demographics. And so here you can look at, well, are we going the right direction or the wrong direction? And this happens to be by how long people have been in the city. So you can do that, but you can also do it by age. And so you just click on age and you go, well, there's not much of a difference by age. Or you can do it by area. And so all of this might be useful to you to see how things look across the areas. And but by you look at this and you say, well, you know, they're all pretty much the same. And that's good to know. But you could just as easily have seen that there's an area where there's an issue. So that's a little bit of the introduction. Now, things that changed between now and the past. I want to show you a few things. I'm going to come down to the city amenities, and on the city amenities, you will see that historic downtown is fairly low in importance and that they're very happy. Now, the question is, what should the city devote more time and effort to do? And very few people feel right now that there's a huge amount of effort needed now to fix downtown. I do want to show you how things were in 2022, because in 2022, historic downtown was the second in importance, right? It was really, really high. And historic downtown was very negative. A lot of people said it's poor. But right now, it's like, that's great compared to everything else, right? So things really moved the needle when it comes to historic downtown. That made a difference. And so that's one of the few changes that is worth knowing about. Another thing I want to point out here, things that have changed, is in 2022, the economy was just entering the inflationary period, right? Things were just kind of beginning to kind of go a little more negative. And we find that a good cost of living was important in the past, but it's even more important to people now. And it was kind of negative in the past, but it's more negative now. And you'll see this in the comments. There's a lot of things where people, they've reacted, and it's nothing that Payson has likely done, but it's just the reality of the situation they find themselves in when the world has changed around them. So you'll find issues here related to taxes. They want you to be more careful. Related to, you know, how you spend your money, they're cautious about that right now. And so they're just a little bit more, compared to 2022, sensitive about things. We asked people about amenities, about benefits of living in the city, about growth and development, safety and security, and about operations. And after we went through each, and on each, people said, hey, this is what's most important to me for us to focus on right now. And then here's how I think you're doing. So you'll be able to go through that. But at the end, everybody had picked 2 amenities that they thought maybe we should focus on these. And everybody had picked 2 benefits that they said, I think we should focus on these. And here's how you're doing. They had gone through each of these 5 areas. So everybody picked 10, 2 out of each that they said we should focus on. And then they rated them all. And then we showed everybody the 10 things they picked. And we said, so there's 2 out of each category. And we said, what are the 4 that you feel Payson should focus on right now? So this is perhaps the most important page in the presentation here for you, and maybe most useful as you're considering your budget and you're trying to think about what to do. Hardly anything on this page is much different than it was in 2022.
So everything's about the same, although the good cost of living is a little higher in importance and a little more negative. But managing the city budget, as you see, that's also come up as being an important issue because of the cost of living and the stress of life. So some of these things are here, but you can see then where to focus. And there's maintaining the streets and curbs and sidewalks. Anything in the top 5, actually, probably the top 10 is maybe an area where you want to make sure we don't lose attention on those things. And maybe we allocate more of your budget towards some of the top 10 and maybe even come down to the top 15. What you see here are the top 20. And believe it or not, there's 30 more beneath this that didn't make the list of the top 20, right? So these are the top ones. And the top 20 here, because we asked 10 amenities, 10 benefits, 10 growth and development. So there were 50 total attributes that we asked people about. They prioritized all 50 for you here, and they're telling you, this is, I think, where we ought to focus more attention. Now, you wish that they weren't negative about these things, but they also love you. Like there's a lot of things here, but they're just saying, I'm a little bit concerned about this. So the other thing I want to show you are the comments. There are comments in here that we added, and we asked people, for example, what are 2 things you appreciate about the city? And so people left a comment, and you can tell here somebody, high school was built with parking lot and future growth in mind. That's a positive thing. And the city seems to be going the right direction. This is a male. He's 25 to 39. Lives in Area 7. If you go back to that map, you go, oh, okay, Area 7. Been 5 to 9 years in the city. So you don't know who the person is, but you got a sense of who's on the other side of this comment. So you can look at that. Now, there's a lot of comments here. 925 people commented on things that they appreciated about the city. Well, that's a lot of comments. And so what we did was above this, we summarized them into themes. These are the themes that people talked about. So they talked about how they love the small town feel and the atmosphere and the events and the parks and recreation and so forth. These are the things that they love. And if you come down to the page beneath it, so not everybody commented, as you can see, but if you come down to these comments, if you want to see something about parks and recreation, for example, there's a filter here, just like we had the demographic filters over here. You can go here and you can turn off all the filters and you can go, I want to look at those parks ones again. Where's it at? Parks and recreation. So you can click on that and turn that on, and then suddenly it'll update and you're seeing all the comments about the parks. So you don't have to go through every comment about everything and hope you can make your patterns yourself. The patterns are right there for you to look at, and then you can dig in and you can see the comments about the ones you want to look at. And is it perfect? No, but it's pretty close. We use AI and people to try to get that all sorted, and people commented about all kinds of things, but it's pretty good. And it's not flawless, but it's pretty good. And we did the same things about concerns and suggestions. So here are the things that people had suggestions about, like a recreation center and some amenities they wanted, or maybe a little bit of improvement on traffic and so forth. So you can see this is off the top of their head. What are your concerns? A lot of people mentioned concerns, more did than had things that they appreciated and shared, you saw that. But, that's the way life goes. And so anyway, you have them all here. And so I think this is going to be useful to you. I think the only other thing, I'm going to drop down here. We rated all of the departments. Have you had contact with the various departments, like the fire department and the library? And you can see the percent who rated each of them. There's 70 people who rated the fire department, and they gave very high ratings. And then there's some down here that are not quite as high, but they're also not real negative. But I've seen mayor and council really negative, by the way. And so you guys are doing pretty good.
At least we beat code enforcement. That's all that matters.
Yeah. But it's a tough job too. And so anyway, we see where you're at. And then code enforcement is just always a tough play. But there are areas where you can focus a little bit and try your best to help and be there. There's also the historicals underneath it if you want to look at that. Now, there are a few things that we asked about that were unique to this survey, and we didn't ask them in the past, but we re-asked them again. But here's one. Consider the ideas below. Which do you feel would be worth using city revenues to develop and maintain? So that's the question. And some people said, well, a lot of people said complete curb and gutter and sidewalks throughout the city. Well, I know that's the most expensive thing they could have picked on this list, right? That's a really expensive one, but well, the recreation center is not cheap either. And so these are some things as you're looking ahead to the future. Maybe these are some things, and I know the fire station, you're working on one. Looks like there wouldn't be a lot of support for a third, or another one. But you can see where that is now. Additional parks. Looks like the parks you have are really good, and maybe they don't feel you need to add a lot of parks. But you can just see what it is. And if you have your dream on a new city center, that's going to be tough. So, but you can see what they think themselves. And now you might know things and you might realize some of these things need to be done anyway, and so you might move forward, but you'll know where the sentiment is of residents. And then we have special events that the city does. Which ones are very important to your family? And there's some people who say none of these. You see 13% don't want anything. But a lot of people love what you're doing, and especially the Onion Days and the Scottish Festival and so forth. So these are all pretty positive ones. If some of them are a little bit lower, you might want to figure out how to jazz those up. So, and then we asked how we could preserve the small town feel of the area. So the question is, keeping the small town feel is an important priority. Which of these do you feel the city should invest in to preserve the small town feel? And you can see it's the canyon and the hillsides are really important to them, and also trails so they can get out and walk and without feeling like they're in danger. So those are some good things. But I was impressed to see the design guidelines for developing businesses in residential areas. Like they want this to look nice. And so that was a really positive thing, and it's nearly as high as the others. So that's a really an important thing. And then I was surprised to see the community cleanup events. I think there's a certain amount of pride that they feel, and that's like they like that. And it helps feel that you're maybe preserving that small town feel about what it is. We did ask a few things about tennis and pickleball courts. I do want to go up here. We breezed over a couple of things quickly. Some people are really passionate about pickleball courts, but when we looked at the city amenities, like it was not the highest thing on the list. And so, you might still want to do some things in that area because there's quite a few people who care about it, but it's not like the biggest thing you could do. And then as we come to tennis and pickleball courts, which of the following improvements would be most meaningful to you? More dedicated tennis courts? Hardly. But there is, there's a little bit about sharing pickleball and tennis courts and maybe dedicated pickleball courts. So there's actually, when you put them together, there's about 20% who feel maybe we should do more with pickleball courts. So that's 20% of your adult population. That's quite a few people, really, when you think about it. Even though other things were prioritized in certain areas, there is a feel that this is maybe a good thing. And I know the pickleball courts that you put in are really heavily used. So that's something. And then we did ask about city lighting of the school district tennis courts. And I'd say mixed to positive support, not super strong, but you got some support, but it's not huge, right? And that really kind of is it. At the end, we asked, is there anything more you want to say? So 40% had a comment here. You can go read through those comments. We have the actual comments here beneath it, and here's all of the comments, 774. So you might, on a very lonely night, kind of go through some of these, but that would be good. And then I just want to show you that the way we invited people, they all came from emails or text messages. So this is very reliable. We did put it out on Facebook, and you got some responses there, but it's not like that dominated anything. So you don't need to be concerned about a few grumblers on Facebook making it seem pretty negative. This is very open and good, honest feedback. And I'll just pause and stop there and answer any questions you might have. Yeah. And if you need me to help, like if you want me to present to departments or help in any way, I live up in Elk Ridge, so.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Ron.
Okay, think they're having it ready for a motion. Okay, to adjourn. Okay, we have first and a second, so I think we just can all vote on this. So everybody in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, everybody.